Dear learners, welcome to the channel again. Today's topic is techniques of selecting a random sample. First technique is simple random sampling. In this technique, each member of the population has an equal chance of being selected for the sample. This can be achieved through methods such as drawing names out of a hat using random number tables or computer generated randomization. For example, if conducting a survey on customer satisfaction in a store, every customer who enters the store during the sampling period has an equal chance of being included in the sample. Next is stratified random sampling. This technique involves dividing the population into homogeneous subgroups or strata based on certain characteristics, for example, age, gender, income, and then selecting a random sample from each stratum. This ensures that each subgroup is adequately represented in the sample. For example, if studying the academic performance of the students in a group in a school, the population can be stratified by grade level, and then a random sample of students can be selected from each grade. Next is systematic random sampling. In this method, a random starting point is chosen from the population, and then every nth number is selected to be the part of sample. The value of n is determined by dividing the population size by the desired sample size. For example, if conducting a survey in a large office building with 1000 employees and aiming for a sample size of 100, every 10th employee can be selected starting from a randomly chosen employee. Next is cluster sampling. Cluster sampling involves dividing the population into clusters or groups, then randomly selecting some of these clusters, and finally sampling all members within the chosen clusters. This technique is particularly useful when it is impractical or costly to sample individuals directly. For example, if studying the prevalence of disease in a country, the population can be divided into geographic clusters, for example cities or regions, and then a random selection of the cities or regions can be made, with all individuals within the chosen cities or regions included in the sample. Next is multi-stage sampling. Multi-stage sampling combines two or more sampling techniques. It involves selecting clusters using one method, for example cluster sampling, and then selecting individuals within those clusters using another method, for example simple random sampling or systematic random sampling. This approach is often used in large scale surveys or studies where a hierarchical structure exists within the population. For example, in a study on household income in a country, states can be selected using cluster sampling, and then households within each selected state can be sampled using simple random sampling. Thank you.